Greetings, greetings, dear Libra. This is for you. This is Tarot Lumination. This is your April 2018 mini general report. It's just broad spectrum spirit reading type of thing. We're going to use Journey the Heart Spread. You've seen these before. Watch for your sun, moon, and rising. You know the drill. Reinterpret. In case this one sounds totally nutty, maybe one of the others will work a little bit better for you, depending on your personal chart configurations. Okay, so Libra, I got to tell you, it's kind of like, it's almost like deer in the headlights energy for you guys if we're not appraised right now. So I'm just going to give you a heads up, I think, so we don't get into too much trouble. You know, Libra, Aries is your kind of polar, solar opposite type of energy. Whatever, you know, sun, moon, and rising, it's the opposite of all that Libra stuff. So we're dealing with maximum polarity, maximum opposition. Now, when we're highly evolved, this can work extremely well. But whatever is not evolved in us can become glaringly obvious as it's reflected back to us in the form of a very significant other, our most significant relationships. So on that note, dear Libra, maybe this will be a long reading, I don't know. I'm just going to give you some astro babble tips here from Tarot Lumination. These are just my own personal notes I'm sharing with everybody today. So right at the very tippy end of March, March 31st, we have a massive full moon. Okay, it's Aries sun, Libra moon, and it's a huge super stress T-square. It's hitting you right over here. It's going to be right in your face for those few days, you know, a few days leading up to it and maybe a day or so after, right in your face. And it's that energy. We've talked about it many times before because of the Aries Libra polarity and because we're at the very tippy end of the Uranus and Aries thing. There's a tremendous amount of pressure on you. How are you going to maintain your integrity as an individual and yet simultaneously respectfully offer and honor the same in your most significant other over here? In other words, live and let live. And Saturn, Pluto, and Mars are putting intense pressure on you to make that happen. So it isn't just the polarity. It's like the reality check police. This is almost like the SWAT team. These are the guys who do not mess around. You do not want to mess around with Mars in Capricorn or Saturn in Capricorn, okay? These guys, if you're at a sobriety checkpoint, if they say roll down the window, please, sir, you do that. You don't say, oh, it's too late, man. I didn't drink anything. No, don't mess around. Just stick with reality, okay? So I'm just letting you know the first building up to the tippy end of March and the first 2 weeks of April, just be on high alert, okay? Just be very careful. We've got on April 15th the Aries new moon. So that's going to be full-on max energy. Let's just do this. You know what? Okay, because we're talking about the cardinal sign. So let's flip it like this. This is what it will look like for you, dear Libra, okay? This is very, very challenging at the very guts and foundations of your life, okay? Just letting you know. Next, the Aries new moon in more Tarot Lumination upside down astrodoodles. Here we go. All this Aries energy over here piled up in your 7th house of most significant relationship, like the marriage type structure, your business, contracted partners, that kind of energy. It's maximum, full on. So there's going to be a lot of pressure here too. It could be wonderful. It could be just very challenging. It could be very illuminating. There's so much light there with the sun and the moon, okay, as well as Uranus and Mercury. So I'm just putting on, these are very significant calendar days for you in April. Just letting you know. I'm not telling you how to make your decisions or live your life. I'm just giving you the calendar moments, all right? April 15th. Next, there's a very challenging couple of days. It's not a full moon or a new moon. It's right in the middle. It's April 21st, okay? April 21st. There is a very challenging Cancer moon in hard opposition to all this Capricorn energy, while all the Capricorn energy is very, very heavily stressed on all the Aries, which affects you, the Libra, over here. So let's flip it There's Libra, kaboom. So it looks like this for you. It's not the full T-square, but it might as well be. You know, it might as well be a full-on heavy-duty T-square from a different angle, though. So it's affecting you very, very strongly in your significant relationship here, okay? Just letting you know. So please be alert. Right at the end of the month, things change quite radically. We're going into the Taurus Scorpio energy. So let's leave this for now, all right? We don't need to worry about this one too much. It's probably a little more gentle. So as you come out of April, you might be out of breath, exhausted, feeling like you've been a bit of roadkill, but it's okay. You know, the whole point of these readings here with Tarot Illumination is to kind of give you a perspective, a view, like a spiritual GPS system, okay? So that you can kind of get along and get through all this stuff without ending up as a piece of roadkill. All right, here we go. Sorry, that took a long time, but it's important for you, Libra, because you're very, very vulnerable at the moment. It's here we go. Cards well shuffled in advance. We're going to go to the last second. No jumpers, no flyers, no oracles, no reversals. Do the drill. We know the drill. Sun, moon, and rising. Reinterpret, okay? If you're really, really, really anxious, do the cross-watching on your significant other and get the heads up on them, okay? All right, here we go. Bring your angels into the reading, please, dear Libra. I'm sharing everything I've got with you guys right now. Okay, that was kind of a weird cut, but it was also deliberate and desirable. Okay, please excuse me. Here we go. This is the heart energy, deep at the heart, soul energy of you. Heart knows what it needs, knows what it wants, and it's up to you, conscious Libra, to listen. Okay? We don't necessarily know what this is. You may be very deeply disintegrated with your heart energy and very consumed with externals, so to speak, to the point of distraction, okay? Over here is legacy energy. This could be whatever. The stresses from the eclipses, the stresses from all that Pisces Chiron stuff in March. It could be stresses that you're feeling about this Aries stuff and your body's sensing it already, and there's trepidation. Who knows? Over here is the ever-present now. This would be your energy at maximum, like at you being your optimal self, like forget about the past, forget about the future, stay absolutely present in the now, serious hardcore reality checks. What's going on right now? What do you need right now for you, Libra? And how are you going to get that in order to love you and serve your heart? Well, you do that by staying in the now and exercising the healing power of your decisions, okay? And then how do you do that effectively so that you can bring the love to you, which is the ultimate duty of yourself to yourself, is to love yourself, because that's ultimately the best thing you can do for yourself, and which is the best thing you can do for the planet, okay? And that would, assuming you're like a Zen master at this stuff, or you're like the supreme yogi of the planet, and you can do this stuff in your sleep, then you would get consequences just right over here. Thing is, not all of us are that highly evolved, and we're all mostly struggling. So let's say you mess up. What if you mess up on your decisions and you slip out of the power, you slipped out of optimal self, and you're dragged down into the muck with the rest of us, and you're just struggling to get by? What if you mess up? Oh no. Okay, well, what if you stay in the zone and you're in your power? Oh yeah, and you make those decisions. You honor your heart. You listen very carefully. Okay, then over here, prospects and momentum. All right, let's have a look at the weather in a moment. Then we're going to actually do the reading itself. So circumstantial energy, this is out there and around you, not necessarily you, perhaps a reflection of you, and you're going to make the best of it. You're not going to be owned by this, okay, Libra? I'm just sort of issuing that as an order. Do not let yourself be owned by this. Just accept it and deal with it. Go with it. Treat it like surfing, okay? Okay, you have the King of Pentacles. So my feeling here is that in some ways, all this potential challenge could be bringing out the best in you. You might be like showing your full colors here. Perhaps you've done a huge amount of work on yourself to get to the point where you actually thrive in the environment of opposition. It's very rare, but it does happen. Now, especially with Libra, being the sign of relationship and love, ruled by Venus, maybe you are one of those Libras who's really kind of just done a huge amount of work, and now you're kind of glowing, and it's evidence. It's like the evidence of love. Love is as love does. Love being the willful, deliberate decision to extend and go beyond your comfort zone, your status quo, in order to foster and nurture the spiritual healing and growth of your most significant loved ones for their benefit and for yours. Okay. And sometimes that's not fun, but it can be very loving. Okay. So this indicates to me that if you're not up to par, if you're not operating at these kind of frequencies, you're being encouraged to really, really, really step up. If you do feel resonance with this, you could give yourself a big hug and a pat on the shoulder and say, wow, I'm not doing that bad. Maybe things aren't that bad after all. Although maybe a lot of people are having a lot worse time than you are. Okay, let's have a look at the core heart. Okay, well, you might be all fired up. Maybe this whole Aries thing is actually turning you on to the point where, my gosh, it's just like, whew. I've heard about this stuff in movies. I've heard about it when Terra Illumination goes on about these things, but I never actually imagined it happening in my life. It feels to me like your heart really wants to, you know, like engage with life, engage with a significant other, engage with the passionate expression of your life. Your heart really wants to go for it. I'm not using the word engage in terms of an engagement. What I'm suggesting is that your heart is eager to express what it wants to express. And it's up to you to acknowledge that and listen to that and allow the energy to flow, whatever that might be. If you're a highly stressed out Libra, that needs to be expressed. If there are things that are going on that you really just can't understand, that needs to be expressed. And if you're, if you're in tune with and this is not a love relationship reading, by the way. It's just that right now, Libra, you are on the axis of relationship. So there's probably going to be a hint of it in here anyway. All I'm suggesting is that there's a possibility for passionate exchange of energy, however that comes out. It could be just loving support of yourself for another, of another for you, and for you for yourself, where you allow that energy to flow. Really, really let it flow. Like if you really need to express the love, express the love. If that's what the heart is saying, it's important to listen and not suppress this. What are you bringing in with you? Okay. Well, more Wands energy. To me, it feels like you might be at a state of burnout. Like there might be some certain aspects of your life. I'm sensing a lot of polarity here already. Okay. All the potential good energy of what can happen when things are working right, and all the potential challenges of when you're out of alignment with this weather. In other words, the weather is what it is. But if you're not in alignment with that, and it's heavy, strong weather that's indicating you need to be in alignment with that, that can be very, very hard to get into alignment with that if you're out of alignment, to the point where you actually might be, it's almost like a, like a teeter-totter, or like when you're on a what's that, high wire act, I think they call it, when you're crossing between two buildings or something, and you're on a severely tight rope, and it's very thick and wide, but it's still very scary, and you're up there trying to balance it all, but it's almost too much, and you're almost going to tip over, to the point where it's almost like there's so much at stake here for you, that's basically being brought into your awareness, but you're already tapped out. Okay, I'm going to go back to this chart. Sorry, this might be a long reading, Libra. Okay, this energy here is already pounding on you very hard. It's almost to breaking point. This is a very, very, very strong energy. And it's most likely, if I had to describe it at all, extremely uncomfortable, almost unbearable for anybody, especially an Aries or a Libra or a Capricorn. But it feels to me like you would be really, really um, taking a heavy hit here if you're not prepared for this. In other words, as you live through this phase in the early parts of April, you might be at your literal breaking point. And maybe your heart is screaming out at you saying, please, 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 let's do something about this. Perhaps it might be an idea to just let the breaking point break. In other words, just splooge it all out and then see what happens, okay? Keep going. Let's keep going. What about the now? More wands. Forward motion, keeping going. In other words, Libra, you've made the decision. I'm going to keep going anyway. I don't get it. I don't understand all this stuff. Tarot Illumination is talking from outer space, but I'm going to listen anyway because just in case it helps. It's like you, Libra, are literally hanging on by the skin of your teeth, literally just uh, right at the tippy edge of not being able to handle things, but you are going to handle things. You've made a decision. You're going to do it. You're going to live with it. You're going to live through this no matter what. And you're just going to have to learn a lot on the way, accepting and understanding that there's a high degree of innocence in you that is being exposed. You're discovering a lot about life and things that you didn't know before. And it's about serious reality checks here coming into your life and your world. So let's just get that on record, okay? So how do you deal with this in terms of decisions? Okay, to me, it feels like with the Empress here, it's like your decisions need to be loaded with almost like what I feel like it's like fertilizer. Like it's almost like close your eyes extremely, extremely tight. Like the more the tension, the greater the pressure, the more you close in, close in tighter and tighter to yourself, listen to yourself. Don't put the stress on, but listen deeply into yourself about what is your heart screaming at you that you really need right now. And it's going to be all about nutrition. My feeling is exactly what form of nutrition do you, Libra, need to provide your heart? Do you need privacy? Do you need rest? Do you need truth telling? Do you need comfort from another? Do you need to share comfort with another? Do you need to share your bounty with another? Do you need it's all about the energy of like the lusciousness that might have been like tapped out of you. And it's almost like it is time to fertilize yourself. I know that sounds, you can reinterpret that however you want. My feeling is it's really important with when you're making decisions, understand that you do have the strength, you do have the capacity to love yourself in a very kind of luxurious way where your sense of self and identity is not contingent upon a significant other. It's love that comes from you, where you realize you have to be the one who seeds your own happiness, your own joy. As much as you are the sign of love and relationship, ultimately you are a single entity like the rest of us. And Libra, you're typically naturally born to be in relationship, but you still need to be primarily in relationship with yourself first and award yourself first, whatever it is your heart screams out at you that you need. So how are you going to do that? The wands just never stop here. You might feel like this is all out war. This would not surprise me. This Mars-Saturn alignment here is extremely warlike. It's very militaristic. It's the energy of extremely efficient warfare, and it's coming right at you, right at you. It's coming at you, and it's coming at your significant other. Let's put it this way to get it more accurate, okay? This is putting intense pressure on you, okay? You and your whole world of relationship with the rest of the world. Let's just put it out there, the rest of the world, not just a significant other. So it's a lot of pressure. And it's please understand that you are under a lot of pressure, and it will be very easy to crack, very easy to break, very easy to become a piece of roadkill in all of this. And you might be at the very tippy limits of your ability to cope, but you still have it. You're in the now. It's very evident that you still have the desire and ability and willingness and inclination to prevail here. But you have to understand that you will prevail, but you're being taken to the absolute limits of your abilities here. And you do have the nutrition. It's automatically built into you. Okay? Now over here, consequently, this would be a balancing act because Libra, you might have been out of balance with yourself for a long time, and it can't be brought back into balance through a significant other, through whoever and whatever out there in the reflection of you. It has to come from inside of you right here. And the balancing act, it means you need to bring yourself back into alignment with you so that whatever is happening out there resonates accordingly, according to the laws of attraction. In other words, there's no point in trying to force this side of the relationship to come in alignment with you. It's all about live and let live. The Mars Saturn thing will not allow that. You can't force things to come into alignment the way that to just totally suit you so that you don't have to evolve and grow and everyone else has to evolve and grow and change according to just to suit you. That's not going to work in this situation. It means you're going to have to figure it out from the inside out and nurture yourself instead of perhaps nurturing others. Or perhaps it's time to start to nurture others and not just yourself. It's however it plays out, however you typically express yourself day to day. So what happens if you forget that it's all about you in the end? It isn't all about the other. What happens if you forget that you already have all the raw ingredients to love yourself first? Just listen to what it is. What is that? How would that actually be defined? I can't tell you that on this channel, on this report. You would know that. But whatever the ingredients are, like that you need to bring to yourself, if you mess up, you lose the love. You lose that current, that flow energy that can come inside you, and you end up as a piece of roadkill. Okay? Not good. When you do get it right, and you do listen very closely to the heart of what it's telling you to express and feel, and you endure and you continue anyway, knowing full well that you're under absolute maximum pressure right now because of your awareness and knowledge of this. You don't have to become a victim. You can just deal with it face on, and you deal with it face on, and you love yourself first. You literally fertilize yourself first. Don't expect it to come from another. Then you allow the healing power of love to flow into and through your life so things come back into equilibrium the way they should be, the way it works at the core of the soul. And yeah, it's very, very tough. The whole of April could be extremely challenging for you, Libra, in this way, because you've got a lot at stake here. Let's have a look at prospects. Okay, very significant other. To me, it feels as though it's hard to avoid the subject of relationship in this reading, even though it's not a love and relationship reading. I think what's happening is there's a very vivid awareness that's going to come more and more and more to the surface here, especially late towards the end of the month, where the significance of this reading will make a lot more sense by that time, hopefully. Because early parts of the month, it's just going to be it could be an SHIT storm just to get through the first few weeks, okay? Getting through this, okay? I'm going to do it upside down. Getting through this, okay? And then this little rough spot here, it's going to be really, really challenging, okay? And then things kind of relax a little bit. So just basically all I'm suggesting here, Libra, is prepare for serious like convulsions and dynamic shifts to occur in your world, in your life, especially in the context of significant relationship, where it's time to bring things back into harmony and balance, where your equilibrium, your balance is not contingent upon the other's behavior. There's all sorts of yummy. You can reinterpret this in a very different way. It looks like an absolutely delicious outcome of a loving marriage kind of thing. I just don't want to impose that on a general report. I just want to imply that we're dealing with something very profoundly important here regarding the energy of significant relationships in your life. And the love needs to flow inside from you. It's not about them, okay? They can be whoever they are and live their own life. It's all about you loving yourself first here. You don't, instead of sitting there waiting for them to fall in love with you, and then everything for them to match in with your concepts of how it should be. So I don't want to pop any bubbles here. I don't want to say everything is going to be absolutely peachy and rosy just because these two beautiful cards are sitting here and it's hard to ignore that. All I'm suggesting is that pay very close attention during this month and make the best of the information. Mark those calendar dates: March 31st, April 15th, April 21st, and keep your head up and maintain your nobility, maintain your self-respect in the most honorable ways possible, no matter how challenging things might be. It's almost like the energy of love and be loved. What's that thing? I think Sting said it. Something. Well, it's like a bumper sticker. If you love someone, set them free. I don't know if you've ever. Is that? Does that make sense? If you love someone, set them free. Something like that. I don't remember, but this would be like the liberate. Very, very a beautiful relationship dynamic here. But it's all about the freedom of you being you and them being them without trying to force it into a pre-existing template, okay? Because things are changing big time here for you in April, okay? I hope I didn't scare you, Libra. All right, please make the best of it. Thank you so, so much. If you need any special attention, you know where to come, terralumination.com. All right, bye. Phew, wow.